radio?
I think that it's two ways to go about it. And I think you could be an album artist that, you focus on your product is the album, or you could be a single-driven artist or try to find a balance between both. But I think, like, you look at Beyonce, at the beginning of her career, it was all hits. It was all singles. But then at a point, it was like the focus became the album. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was just how to make the album an event. And then whatever the people chose, that'll be the record that, everybody got behind and you supported with your visuals and everything. But I would never say that we intentionally avoid trying to end up on the radio, but just, from where I was standing and what the message was and what the story was, I tried making radio records in the past and it ain't feel authentic.
And you don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, the game, it's a different game right now. I think it's a lot about streaming. It's about making a dope product that people really want to hear over and over again. But you always radio gonna give you that next level touring. So I wouldn't, when I said that, I was like, I ain't need radio to do mine. I done fine. I meant to get here. You know what I mean? We want to keep going, obviously, and penetrate the boundaries we haven't penetrated. But to this point, I just was speaking to how we was gorillas with the tactic.
All right, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your girl Kumari Deshay. Y'all just got done listening to the late, great, and legendary Nipsey Hussle, and he spoke on some iconic things that are gonna help a lot of us artists out there like you, like me, try to get to the next level and basically bridge the gap between where we currently are and releasing our music and where we're trying to go. So basically, Nipsey speaks on a lot of different things like, singles artists. He speaks on album artists. He talks a little bit about his personal strategy, how he identifies as more of like an album artist, and how he understood the approach that he needed to take to be able to reach the people that are actually going to be interested in hearing his album or his project when it actually drops. Taking it back to Nip and his approach, he identified with being an album artist. He understood that in order to, reach people that are actually going to give a fuck, that are actually going to support it, stream it, download it, buy it, tell people about it, share it, he was going to need to roll out this strategy to raise his brand awareness, raise his brand recognition. A lot of times we get eager, we're excited, we want to get our content out there. We got a project that we have been writing and working on for some time now. We excited about dropping it, releasing it, getting it on all the platforms. We want everybody to hear it. But the thing about it is a lot of times, like, we don't have the reach to be able to market that album effectively and get it in the hands of people that actually care about the content, that want to hear it, that are going to support it and all of that. So that's where the singles approach comes in. So singles, essentially, the main goal of a single is to help an artist's brand recognition. And historically, singles have been an effective way to kind of make you become a household name. Whether people are familiar with what you stand for, what you represent or not, they may know you for that one hot track that they heard bumping in their car, that they heard playing at the club, or whatever the case may be. With a single, your focus is more commercialized, like for radio, for partnerships, for collaborations, things like that. Singles essentially help you as an artist build your recognition and get the awareness surrounding who you are. Now, thing about singles, they are a lot less intimately focused on the artist. So with this approach, like, your audience, your viewers are not necessarily going to know who you are as the artist. They're not going to know what you stand for, what you represent, what your brand is about, what your messaging is about, what your voice really is. It's more so about the total collaborative process or the total collaborative product or whatever that song is, like, literally complementing or being tied to. So for instance, like, way back in like 2005, Beyonce had like the Pink Panther movie that came out. She had A Woman Like Me that was a single at the time. So, she got featured in the film. You had this A Woman Like Me single. Check On It was another single at the time. All gearing up for like a B-Day release. 2006, she did like Dream Girl. So again, my point is, a lot of times these radio singles are literally tied to a marketing strategy to help unravel or roll out whatever bigger project the artist has coming down the pipeline. An album is more so like a showcase of who you are as an artist. So it's your opportunity to tell your story, and it's your opportunity to basically, allow your voice to be heard, allow your message to shine through, allow people to dig into your world, your fans to dig into your world and see like what you stand on, what you're about, what you represent, stuff like that. So labels have historically always understood the power, that release strategy with singles has had, and they've been like the gatekeepers and the ones that you kind of needed to be in the room with in order to bridge the gap between you as the artist and your talent and the money, power, and reach that it's going to take to be able to get your content and get your music exposed to the world. The dream a lot of times is only manifested when an artist meets with a label, when the artist's vision and the label's vision are the same, when they kind of align. So if you know who you are as an artist, you know the kind of work you want to put out, and that happens to be in alignment with what the label is trying to promote and back, then, you know, that's a dream come true, obviously. But if that's not the situation, meaning if you don't go in there with like an already established name brand or brand power, you know, a following or whatever the case may be, then you probably 9 times out of 10 are in a situation where they have an idea of what they want you to kind of become, and they have an idea of the messaging or the voice or the whatever that they're looking to promote and put money behind, and they're interested in hiring you, the artist, to be the face of that message, to be the representative. With the emergence of social media and like internet and this whole new era that we're on right now, we have the benefit of being able to create our own brand on the platform of our own choosing. So you don't necessarily need to, you know, be this green newcomer artist that's looking for somebody to believe in you or see something in you and, you know, hoping for somebody to see your vision the way you do. They're never gonna see it the way you do, like, just period. You kind of have to go in there knowing what you want, and there's a way to actually do that now by, you know, creating a content. I don't care if it's your content, I don't care if you partner with somebody that got a brand, an idea, a vision, or whatever the case may be. It's your job to understand the business, you know, as the artist. This entertainment business is a business first. Get on YouTube, when you get on Instagram, when you get on Facebook, when you get on whatever platforms you choose to get on to build your content, to build your brand, what you are essentially putting yourself in a position to do is own everything. So you have full ownership and control over your brand. You have full ownership and control over your content, over, you know, what you stand on, your voice, your messaging. When you build up a platform and do it successfully, you put yourself in a better position to negotiate when you do run into these opportunities with money and power. So like your labels and your big name artists, you put yourself in a position to negotiate with them. So you're not going in there, again, like I said, some newcomer, some green artist. You have brand power, you know your worth. So that's the difference. You know, you get in the room with them and you get to leverage their power, their money, their reach for your brand versus the brand that they want you to conform to. The bottom line is this: whether your interest is like putting out a whole bunch of singles, if you just don't necessarily have a project that you're looking to drop right now, you just got a whole bunch of material, you want to do singles, whether that's your interest, or whether your interest is telling the story on an album, whether your interest is like remaining indie for life, which you literally can, you know, do now and actually make a living off of, or whether you're, you know, indie right now and you're eventually looking to position yourself to partner with like the bigger labels or the bigger names, the principle is still gonna be the same regardless. You need to build content so that you can establish your brand. Your content is either gonna reflect your voice at the end of the day or somebody else's. Bottom line is, you're the artist regardless. Like, you're the artist either way. The blessing today is that you get to choose who you want to be and what you want to do and whose voice and messaging you want to represent. So stay tuned for future content. You know, this is Indie Artist Channel. You know, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, comment down below more interesting topics, stuff that y'all want to hear about, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.